Hello everyone, my name is Caitlin Hughes and I am going to walk you through the lesson plan template. This one specifically is from the College of Education at GCU. So we are going to be talking about what we see on these lesson plans and kind of explaining what they are for. So the first little bit is going to be just a little bit of information. So your name and your grade level that you're teaching, of course, the date, and then this is going to be the unit is what you are working towards as a whole. So these might be something you work on over a few weeks instead of just one day. And then your instructional plan title, so that is going to be your activity title. And then we're going to walk through your lesson summary and focus is going to be a little bit of a brief explanation of what you're wanting the children to do and what you're going to be doing. So the classroom student and factors grouping. So you're going to want to group children in their small groups in a way that benefits all of them. So for example, I have grouping my IEP children with groups that have children that have strong vocabulary and behaves as expected, so they can see that model. But also on the flip side of that is that my IEP children might be ones that are touching the pumpkin more, so that would encourage the other children who may not want to touch it as much do the same. So that is the example of grouping. You want to make sure that you are following all of your national and state learning standards. So I have listed all of the standards that the children will be working on through this activity. And then your specific learning targets and objectives are the things that you want the children to learn exactly what it is that they will learn. And these will also tie in with the standards. So you're going to want to look through that as well. And then your academic language are things that they might not know what it means, but you're going to use that during the activity. So for example, explore, predict, describe. So those are words that you're going to want the children to use next time you're doing this kind of activity, but you're going to model it this time and show them exactly what it means. So then we go down and then we have the resources and materials and equipment. So for this activity, I'm going to have pumpkins and knives for me to cut open, containers for the guts and containers for the seeds, and then pencil and paper and a camera for pictures. So those are the kind of things you want to list every material that you were going to be using and resources. So if you have something that you are like a video that you're watching in order to show the children, then you will need to list that as well. So the anticipatory set is where you're going to put pretty much exactly what you're going to want to do in this activity. So it's step for step, the expectations and how you are seeing this happen and coming undone. So you are going to want to explain that to somebody who might not know what exactly you're doing, and that will help them, like if you have a sub or something. So that's very helpful to them. Multiple means of representation. You're going to want to list exactly, what you're doing for them. So I will model how to pull out the guts with my hands. You're going to want to put on there what it is that you are doing for these children. So the ELL learners and students with special needs, students with gifted abilities, early finishers, these here are the differentiated instruction that you're going to give for each of these children, because they are going to have a little bit different, they're going to have a little bit different things with that. So you're going to want to list each of those in each of these sections. So multiple means of engagement, I'll have the children hammer golf tees into the pumpkins, so that's something else that they can be doing. And then again, they are differentiated through these as well. So multiple means of expression. So in this section, you're going to talk about what and how you're going to kind of assess these things and how they are going to be done. So for example, I'll take pictures, and then the bold is your summative assessments, and then if you do a formative, it would be underlined. So the anecdotal notes explain what the children are able to do, ask questions. So these are the kind of things that you're going to be assessing throughout this activity. So then we walk through down to the bottom. So, excuse me. So the extension activity and or homework. So for my example, I put that the children will send home seeds in a dirt cup so that the families can plant the seeds together. So this is going to be an extension of your activity. So you are going to want to send home the homework, which in preschool we don't call it really homework. It's just the extension. But we are going to send that home and explain to them what they should do with it. And we can even send them home some language to work through, just like we have language at home and what we do at school. So we can send that home to the parents so that they can keep working on that same activity and we're all learning together. So scaffolding is an important part of teaching, especially in a lower grade setting. So in scaffolding, that is when you're kind of given the support to the children, and you're explaining to them how to do it. And let's say that they are almost there, they're almost able to do what they're doing, but they just can't quite get there. So that's when you come in and you kind of give them that push to keep going. So it's very important for, especially something that you're newly introducing, it's important to scaffold. So according to GCU, the learning cycle goes as follows. It's pre-assessment and standard alignment. So that is where you're going to be planning your lessons. So the instructional strategies, that's where you're going to be talking about what you are wanting to learn and how you're going to do it. And then assessment, of course, is where you're going to assess the child on what you have taught them. And then the review of the assessment data, you're going to be reviewing and seeing how the children scored or how the children did with this assessment, what you might need to improve on, and go from there. And then if you need to reteach something through that review of assessment, that is where step 5 comes in. And then number 6 would be to reflect. So you're going to see what worked, what didn't, and you're going to sit down with your team and find a way to make things better the next time. So you must follow your local standards in order to show what you're teaching, so that you're going to make sure that you align with what you're teaching to what you're showing the state through your lesson plans. You want to make sure that you are following your standards because they are going to be what guides you through the rest of your teaching. So then setting up your lessons with assessments in mind. So every time that you are doing your lessons, you are going to want to think about how they're going to assess this activity and how the children are going to respond, and how are you going to do it? Are you going to do it formatively or summatively, and exactly how you're going to do it. So like anecdotal notes, photos, or videos, any of those would work for your assessment. So I hope that this has been a learning experience for you, and I hope that I have taught you how to use some of the lesson plans for your teaching. Thank you.